Hey, how's it going? Ray Reese, Reese's Masterpieces. Been MIA for a bit, as I think I mentioned in a previous video, just with work and life, and haven't been able to maintain the same, nearly the same level of productivity. So thankful for these opportunities again. I had a reader question. Let me get to it. Don't know how to get to it. Okay. So the question comes from Chris. Says for weight loss and strengthening, what balance do you recommend between exercise and calorie cutting? On the exercise front, what balance between strength and cardio? Between arms, legs, and torso? Okay, so this is a great question. It's a question that I get a lot, or I'd say that most fitness professionals or personal trainers would get a lot, or some combination of these. So I'm going to try to tackle all of these questions as simply as I can, but it's still going to wind up probably being a fairly lengthy response. So what balance do I recommend between exercise and calorie cutting? So first, I don't recommend calorie cutting. I don't look to cut calories. And I maybe this is more semantics, but as a fitness professional and having been a fitness competitor, usually cutting refers to I don't want to say drastic, but just for the lack of a better term, drastic measures taken in order to make a certain weight or be at a certain body fat percentage for an event, for a specific thing. So like I might cut calories a few days before I go to weigh in for like my powerlifting meet. I may, go to, a bodybuilder may cut calories before their big show or what have you. Wrestlers, MMA, boxers, anybody that competes in a weight class based endeavor might cut calories, 24 to 48 hours prior to weigh-in, before they then put calories back on. But calorie cutting isn't healthy. It's not advisable. It's something that's like a temporary fix to a very, very specific issue, right? So how does that apply? How does all this apply to just the average person, the lay person who wants to get in shape? Again, I don't cut calories. I don't count calories. I make certain to simply take in quality calories, usable calories. I make certain to not take in excess calories. So it's the quality of what I'm getting, making certain that I'm getting lots of nutrition. So lots of nutrition and lots of fuel without excess ingredients. So I'm getting in quality protein, quality fats, quality carbs without excess fats, like from oils and butter, without excess protein, meaning I'm not taking in too much meat or too much other extra, taking in, quality carbs from fruits and veggies as opposed to from like pastas and wherever else. It's the quality of your fuel. It's the quality of your calories more so than the quantity of it. As relates to the exercises that you're doing, you have to consume the fuels that you need for your functions. So if I'm going to be lifting a lot of weights, I'm going to need more protein than the average person because I'm going to need to repair more muscle. Hence, I need protein because protein repairs muscle. If I'm going to be doing a lot of high burst, high energy stuff, I'm going to need more carbs than the average person prior to my workout and a little bit post-workout. I'm going to need that. Excuse me. Because those are the functions that I'm going to be performing. Fats, maybe I'm going hiking, maybe I'm doing some long term, maybe I'm doing a marathon, a Tough Mudder, or what have you, right? I'm going to be taking extra fats. So it's not about calorie cutting, because if you don't take in the calories that you need to perform the functions that you're trying to perform, you're not going to be very efficient. So if like, let's say you're trying to take in 2,000 calories per day and like 1,500 of those calories are fats and 300 of those calories are carbs and 200 of those calories are, protein, that's not going to work. If you take in 1,500, calories of protein and you're not like killing it in the gym, if you're taking in 1,500 calories worth of carbs and you're not about to go play an hour of football or volleyball or whatever, or something, it's not gonna be relevant. So I usually tell people, pick the healthiest thing, whatever the healthiest thing that you're gonna prepare, that you're gonna eat. So let's say you're gonna be eating fruits, veggies, and a little bit of meat, and a little bit of starch or whatever. Your meal should be the healthiest thing. So make your fruits and veggies, and then you get full off of that, great. You can have a little bit of meat, a little bit of, starch, your white rice, whatever, as, for taste or something, or to, in the case of adding a meat, something that can pack a greater sort of punch in the long term, such that you don't get hungry as soon. But yeah, so not calorie cutting, calorie quality, and then consuming the appropriate amounts relative to the activities or functions that you're going to be doing. On the exercise front, what balance between strength and cardio? So I know I said I was going to answer these as simply as possible, but I do want to be thorough on top of that. So strength and cardio. It's important to note that cardio just means heart. Any exercise, any activity, from walking to lifting weights, swimming, karate, getting frisky with your significant other, can be cardio. Walking up a flight of stairs, carrying groceries up and down, helping somebody move can be cardio, because it's going to make your heart work harder and faster and more and all this stuff. And people will tend to use the term cardiovascular, which is, it's essentially saying the same thing. Cardio meaning heart, vascular meaning like blood and veins and the whole like issuance of blood to the muscles. More accurately is the term cardiorespiratory. So saying heart and lungs. So if you're asking, hey, what's the balance between strength and cardiorespiratory, it excuse me, it really just depends on your goals, because in order to burn fat, you have to work your muscles in some form or fashion. So you want to burn fat, you got to do work. And it's the volume of the work versus the volume of calories that determines your fat loss. So if you take in less calories, if you burn more calories than you take in, then you'll have this much of a caloric deficit. All right. So you take in, let's say you burn 1,500 calories and you've taken in 1,200 calories, your net loss will be 300 calories. So you will technically have burned 300 calories. But, and that it doesn't matter. You can do, so whether you've burned 1,500 calories from doing strength training, or you burn 1,500 calories from doing cardiorespiratory exercises, or you've burned 1,500 calories from doing yoga, which would be a lot of yoga. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you've burned more calories than you took in. That being said, from a functionality, a practicality, and an efficiency standpoint, strength training is going to be a better friend to you in a vacuum. Assuming if we're having to pick one or the other, building muscle, it's your muscles that burn calories. So, and it's your muscles that perform work. So the more you work your muscles, the more calories you burn. The more you work your muscles, the more calories you burn. The more muscles you have, the more calories they can burn, the more work you can do. So therefore it's your larger muscles that are going to burn more calories, which I will touch on in the final point of this question. But strength training builds muscle more than cardiorespiratory training does. And I know there's some exceptions, but lifting heavy weights on one end of the spectrum, lifting heavy weights and doing bodybuilding and whatever is going to build more muscle than walking laps around the track. All right. Now these are opposite ends of the spectrum. Not saying that this is right and this is wrong or this is whatever, right? Again, the more muscle you have and the more you work those muscles, the more calories you're going to burn. And that, because the reasoning for that, people might say, oh, well, I can burn 800 calories in a cardio class, but I only burn 400 calories doing strength training. Again, if you're building muscle, you're going to be burning more calories 24/7. Cardio, you only burn calories like right then and there. So if you take a cardio class or you hop on the treadmill or you go jogging, once you're done, if you've burned 500 calories or you've done 500 calories worth of work, that's it. That's the entire caloric benefit you're getting from that. Let's say, however, you do 400 calories worth of muscle building. As that muscle gets larger, as it repairs itself, as it gets larger, it then has the capacity to burn more calories 24/7, 7 days a week. So that's a thing to be mindful of, that the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn 24/7. Okay? So even though you may have done 300 calories worth of work to build that muscle, the new muscle that's built has capacity to burn calories throughout the week. What's a good balance between arms, legs, and torso? The short reductionist version is, it depends on your proportions, it depends on your goals. There's not a right answer to that. However, going back to the question about strength training and such, is, again, we talked about, so the more you work your muscles, the more calories you burn. The more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn throughout the week. Your larger muscles can do more work and can essentially yield more calories. Oh, the thing that I forgot from the previous thing, strength versus cardio, is that also, if you're doing strength training correctly, that will yield you greater functionality, like in the real world. So doing single leg step ups with like kettlebells or dumbbells in each hand will help you carry groceries up flights of steps. You know, carrying a sandbag up, you know, doing single leg step ups is going to help you, you know, maybe pick up a loved one off the couch and take them up and put them into bed. A child, not like, you know, your husband or anything like that. But, I mean, yeah, man, carry a large enough sandbag, I don't know. But, larger muscles, more calories. That being said, so if you're trying to, you know, build, and also strength training is the only thing that will change your body type and your body proportions. Yeah, I don't want to dig too deep. It's just, so like, if you're like, hey, I want thicker legs, you know, then you have to do strength training for that. You can't just do cardio. Like, hey, I want broader shoulders, or I want more of an hourglass. Well, you've got to, there's muscles that correspond to that. So, ratio between arms, legs, and torso. Again, it depends on your goals. It depends on your primary shape. So like, it depends on your shape and what you were trying to aim for. And two, like I said, the larger muscles burn more calories. So you would do more, the more you work your legs, the more calories you will burn. So if you're like, dude, I'd really, really, really want to burn a bunch of calories, well, you definitely want to do a considerable amount of leg work. That doesn't mean abandon legs and torso, because you can't do legs every day, 7 days a week. At best, you can maybe do them every other day. You can work legs 3 days a week. At best, 4 times if you're like competing, but even then you're gonna have to take like an additional day off the next week. But anyway, if you were doing legs 3 days a week, you would be doing them every other day. And then in between there, like I might do legs on Monday, chest on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, back on Thursday, legs on Friday, and then arms on Saturday. Maybe. That's a rough thing. But that is those are the answers that I have for those questions. Feel free to follow up with anything. And I'm realizing, I think for some reason, this screen isn't as wide as it's supposed to be, but whatever. Thanks for the question. Let me know if you have any others. Ray Reese, Reese's Masterpieces. See ya. Bye-bye.